Just because you've outgrown it doesn't mean that it isn't for somebody else.
Today, we are talking about how to stage your home, and the buyers are going to love your property. I'm joined with Jackie today.
Hello.
And welcome, Jackie.
Hello.
We have worked with Jackie for years.
Yes.
Years and years and years for staging a house. And so I am just excited to have you here.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk today about how to stage your home on a budget
Yes.
so that buyers can still fall in love with it.
Yes.
All right.
It is possible.
It is possible. I've seen you do it. Magic. Just magic.
Thank you.
So let's jump in. So what are some of the key rooms? Let's maybe talk about that.
For sure.
What are the key rooms that are really important to stage when you don't really have anything to stage with, but you just want to rearrange and make it look great?
Kitchen.
Okay.
Living room, master bedroom. If there's an ensuite off that master bedroom, those are really the key areas.
The main three.
The appearance from the outside, like curb appeal,
yeah.
is huge as well. So there's always little tips and tricks that we can do for the curb appeal so that when people pull up, they're like, oh, I like this. Yeah, there's something about it, something cute that they really like.
Well, we were talking about before how a home actually has to be sold many times.
Yes.
And when you're selling your house, a lot of times a buyer is going to look at it online.
Yep.
And then they're going to drive by, and then they're going to see it in person. And all of those things have to line up, right? Because if you look online, you're like, ooh, photos look great. This looks like an amazing house.
Yeah.
Partially that's because of
staging.
Correct. And then they got to drive by, and it's because they're checking out to see if there's like creepy neighbors, weird angles, weird location.
Exactly. Because people they want to feel secure what they're doing, right?
Absolutely.
And we're on now, especially over COVID, everything is so much online. They're really checking it out, but people do want to make sure that they're actually seeing what they're getting in the photos too. Yeah. So staging is just so important. Yeah.
Well, let's jump in. Let's talk about the kitchen first.
All right.
So what are those things that you got to do? What are the key things in the kitchen that are going to make a difference?
We want to really showcase, if you just redone your kitchen or you got some really key features in your kitchen, we really want to showcase those. So we want to make sure there's very minimal on the countertops.
Yes.
Not a lot of clutter. People need to be able to see themselves already living there and knowing, oh, I'm going to put this there. I'm going to put that there. When we live very differently than when we sell.
So differently.
We live with toasters on our countertops, knife blocks, paper towels, bills, stacks, school.
Scrub brushes, like all your cleaning things in your sink.
Exactly, like the soap and all that. Yeah. When we come to sell, that all needs to be in a home, not just tossed into a cabinet. Yeah. It all needs to actually have a home. It does actually make it a lot easier when everything has a home that you just know where it is. And it's like less stress all the way around.
Totally. And so what about like the countertops? You want to make sure countertops are spotless, right?
Yes.
What can you keep on your countertops or an island even?
On an island, you can do a couple things. We're really just trying to set a mood. So when the buyer walks in, they kind of already know what that area is used for. Yeah. So if it's more of an entertaining house, then we can have, a nice tray with some wine glasses and a bottle. Or if it's more just like a family home, then, we can do a nice big fruit tray. We just really want to make that mood and that feeling. So when that person walks in, that potential buyer, they're like, oh, I can see myself sitting at the breakfast bar, having my espresso or however that is, watching the kids outside. And
what I've heard you say to other people, like you want to be able to showcase what this home is, not your stuff, because they need to see what they're going to be living with, because they're not going to be living with your stuff sitting there,
I try and get the seller to understand that they're moving on to bigger and better things.
Yes.
Hence why they're selling this house of theirs. And the next people that are coming in, the potential buyers, they're also on a move to better and bigger things. So this new property is their better and bigger things. So just because you've outgrown it doesn't mean that it isn't for somebody else.
Totally. And so that's where you want to make sure
Yes.
that you detach yourself emotionally from the stuff and why it sits in that corner, and things should be over here, right?
Yeah.
We should not should all over ourselves.
No.
someone told me that years ago, and I was like, I just love it. But it's super important, right? You should never just keep something there just because it's always been there.
Exactly. So this is the time. This is what when I come in, it's kind of that, that second set of eyes, that third set of eyes, because I ask you, why do you keep that there? Like, is there a purpose for it? And a lot of times the answer is no. I put it there when I moved in there 10 years ago, and I just left it there. And that's a very common thing, and that is very just who we are. We get into a routine and we just leave it there, without even thinking about it. Is there another spot that's better for it? So and I come in and ask questions, and then I really try to give the explanation why. Just not remove it. There's always a reason.
Totally.
It's like the cabinets that have the space between the ceiling and the cabinets, remove all that stuff.
Everything needs to be gone.
When you live in your house, live how you love it. I'm very passionate about that. Live in your house how you love it. When it comes to selling, you need to depersonalize it to a point. But take off everything that's up top.
Yeah. There's a question here, actually. Someone said, tips for showing or prepping a rental. So do you have like a few things that are helpful for that?
For a rental? So I always try, when I go into someone that is living as a renter in there, really try to say, to help them out. It's in their
tough.
It's a hard thing. So sometimes, if you are the one that wanting to sell and you have a renter in there right now, maybe give them an incentive. It's always in your best interest.
It's true. And even doing an incentive of whether it's a gift card or some like Safeway gift cards.
It doesn't have to be much, say like out for dinner, or I guess maybe not so much out for dinner now, but groceries or gas, or just something to help along, or, like a little night away or movie passes or something like that. People really do appreciate that. And if they're feeling appreciated, they're really going to help.
They're going to help. Yeah. Really, rentals are super hard because, again, it's not your stuff. It's just a space, and you can only do so much. And
I really try and just be, compassionate with these people. They might be losing their house too. I always suggest have a really good conversation with them before you list it, before I come in and say, this is what we're doing. These are the reasons why. They don't necessarily need to know, but it makes a better relationship.
100%. All right. So let's jump back in. So the kitchen, clean everything off. Make sure it's tidy. Get your stuff out of there so people can see the space. What about, you said living room? Like front room, family room, living room, that kind of space.
That's equally as important because it's typically on the main floor, or it gives the whole flow of the house. We don't want one area decluttered and the rest of it go, oh, this is how they live. So living room, you want to be able to show space. If there's a transition in your floor line from carpet to tile, keep everything inside that carpeted area.
So it's like when we were a kid, you got to color the lines. Now you need to like keep it in the lines, right?
Keep it inside that.
Keep it in the lines.
If you have a solid floor throughout, like a hardwood or tile, makes it so much easier. We don't have to worry so much. But the reason why you want to keep it inside the lines with that transition is because it looks like the room isn't big enough if you are creeping in onto the tile or the other flooring.
Even if the room is big enough, it actually looks like it's not, and people will question that.
And then
even if they don't even know what they're thinking, unconsciously they're like, "This is weird," because it's not supposed to be there. Right.
So typically in a living room, this is our wall of family, children, grandchildren. Remove that.
Yes.
People people love looking at people and they will get hung up on it.
That's true.
And they'll be like, oh my goodness, that baby's so cute. Forgetting that there is a beautiful fireplace with tile going up or beautiful view from the back windows. They get hung up on that. So we just want to keep it simple, but warm and classic.
Well, and I've been in showings with clients where they're like, do we know any of these people? And they're always like scouring through all the people that are on the thing, right?
Yeah. And it's distracting, and they kind of forget, the key features of the house. And that's really what staging for selling does. We really just want to enhance the key features of the house. We're not hiding anything. We're just bringing to light what's positive about this house.
It's true. So again, we're talking about staging. We're talking about doing it on a budget. I think the biggest thing with why this is important is because in this market, and you are selling, there are, like, for some of you guys out there, like, you've lost money. Values have dropped, and so you want to make the biggest impact that you can on a budget. Yes, you can go spend thousands and upon thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on furniture and staging it with new stuff. But like we would always say, let's just use what you have and let's make this space better. So
exactly. I'm definitely all about let's reuse. Sometimes you got a piece of art that's beautiful and it's in the hallway, but that's not the main
the best
spot for it, right? It could go in the living room where it's really going to bring all the colors together and make that pop. Let's do it that way. Like I said, when we sell, we really just kind of want to key in on the key pieces. So the kitchen, the living room, front entrance as well is a big thing. You want to make sure that it's spacious. Even the tiny ones, you want to make sure they're spacious. So don't have any extra benches or consoles there if it's not big enough for that area.
What about mirrors? Like, I personally, like, in the house we live in a bungalow right now. And until we put a window in this one spot, I'm like totally covering the camera. Until we put a window in that one spot, we had a mirror there. And how do you, like, I just see entryways with mirrors, and how does that play into it? Is that a good thing, a bad thing?
It depends on the area. Mirrors are always good. Reflects light, makes it a little bit brighter in there, widens the space a little bit. When you're hanging a mirror, if it reflects something ugly, don't hang it.
Oh, interesting. So what could be ugly? What are like 2 or 3 ugly things that
if it's reflecting into the wind, like if you're hanging a mirror and it's just kind of the garbage can is right there, you don't want those
that from another angle.
Yeah, you mean. Or like if it reflects through the window, which is outside into the backyard, and the neighbors aren't tidy back there, you don't want that. So I always say, if you're going to hang a mirror, make sure it reflects something beautiful. Or if it doesn't reflect anything at all and just makes the space brighter, then that's a good thing.
That's a good thing too. Yeah, totally. Okay, last but not least, I think we're talking about the master bedroom.
Yes.
So what are 2-3 things that people can do in their master bedroom to make that space work for buyers?
Remove family photos again, wedding photos, any kind of, I've seen divorce certificates up there. Remove those.
Is it like a celebration?
I don't know.
I got to remember this every time I wake up. Yes. What's with that?
I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, that has to go.
That's hilarious.
You really want the master bedroom to feel like a hotel getaway, like in the spa. You want it to be calm and inviting. Whites and creams. Little pops of colors are always good. I love end tables with nightstands, a headboard. The closet should only have clothes. No hiding Christmas presents in there. No hiding anything besides your clothes and shoes and jewelry in there. If you have the ensuite going, just really crisp and clean. No extra clutter. Greenery is always a good thing. If you can have real plants in there, that's great. If you can't, candles, white towels. I like to mix like golds and silvers in there. And it doesn't matter if it's a new bathroom or an old bathroom. We can make it feel awesome.
There was, I don't know if you remember this one client we had years ago. We'll just end with this funny story because I think a lot of times clients do this and they're like, oh, I love my house now.
Yes.
But do you remember, it doesn't matter, I'm not saying names, remember the one client that we did all this for?
Yeah.
And then she's like, actually, I am going to stay.
Yes.
And then she stayed in her house. Yes. She lived there for another year after you staged it. And she's like, okay, now I can sell it. She stayed for another year. So yeah, but that actually goes to another point. When you move into a new house,
yes,
sometimes moving in, I know for myself, when we move into a new house, it can take us years to kind of figure out how the flow, how it all works, how it looks. But I think having someone like yourself even come in and to be able to say, hey, you know what? I've seen this happen in this kind of space too. That's also something.
And we do, and I do that. Yeah. A lot of people are starting to get like, oh, I love what you did, or that looked great. It's
Come
not
to my new house too, please.
Yeah. Or it's not my style, what you did in that house. It fit that, it sold it. No, help me with mine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
It's cool.
It's there.
It's good. Well, I hope you guys found some amazing tips. If you are planning on selling, comment below. We're going to continue watching the comments here. If you have questions, Jackie will see it. I'll see it. And we can answer those questions for you. But that's what we have for today. So I really hope this was helpful. Jackie, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It was great seeing you and having you here. And for all of you out there, enjoy the rest of your day and happy staging.